Brandon, next story. Europe. We talked about it. I heard you talk about earlier. Is in horrible shape. Talk to us what's going on.
Yeah, so this is a doozy. So let's see, where should we start here? So a few months ago, October 16th to be exact, our Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who I can't stand,
she looks like a hobbit.
Yeah, she's actually a hobbit too.
She's a squad.
Easy.
What, you like her?
No, I look like a hobbit. Offense to that.
You're
on behalf of other hobbits.
Okay, not even a hobbit. She looks like, you know, in Harry Potter, when they went in the basement,
Yeah.
and there was those people.
Yeah.
That's her. But go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So right after Israel gets attacked, and we're talking about, we have to help Israel now. So she says, quote, America can certainly afford to stand with Israel to support Israel's military needs, and we can also and must support Ukraine in its struggle against Russia. She said, adding, the U.S. economy is doing well, extremely well. So, yeah, sure, we could print all the money that we want in infinity, whatever. But now this happens. So one of a 30-year defense contractor was quoted as saying, I've never seen anywhere near so much demand for the specific defense missiles, the surface-to-air missiles that are used by Ukraine and Israel to defend against, all the attacks they're incurring.
Speak right now, like they're going
There's
through missiles.
There's a 2-year backlog right now for missiles. So
because of what we're giving Ukraine to defend themselves
and Israel. Yeah.
They don't. Doesn't Israel have? I mean, we give them what, $2 billion. They don't have enough shit?
Think about it. If you produce money out of thin air faster than you could build missiles, that's something that's obviously going to be out of whack if you're having a more war than you've had in a long time. So that's where we're at right now. We're spending and giving money, but we can't keep up with the pace of making missiles. So now there's like a 2-year wait for
imagine a backlog.
Yeah.
on death destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the reason that's a big issue is one reason, a simulation took place recently that said that if Taiwan was attacked by China, the U.S. would run out of missiles in 1 week.
Wait.
What?
Say that one more time.
So to quote exactly from the Wall Street Journal, in a war game simulation published in early 2023 of how the U.S. would respond to a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, the Center for Strategic Intelligence and International Studies estimated that America would run out of all important long-range anti-ship missiles within the first week.
I feel safe.
So you know what that means from a military standpoint? We run out of all of our long-range missiles, so we're down to handguns and nuclear weapons.
Yeah, and there's an ammo shortage too.
What the fuck? Dude, am I the only... What?
Yeah. So
what?
The reason I started with Europe with all this is because, we had Colonel McGregor on a few months ago, right?
A couple months ago, yeah.
Everybody thought he was kind of, out there with how...
Wacky. They called him wacky.
The interview got 1.5 million views for as wacky as it was.
Wacky.
But he was really hard on saying that it's a completely different situation than we're being told, that Russia's destroying Ukraine, that Ukraine's about to fall any month now. So people didn't really pay that much mind at the time, but from just the number standpoint, check this out. So Ukraine has created enough cemeteries to bury 1.5 million people over the past few months. They've lost 500,000 out of the 2 million active soldiers.
What?
Yeah, and they're preparing to lose another 1.5 million. And they're at the point now where they're trying to force women and old people to come into battle.
What?
Yeah.
That's devastating.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy, Brandon? And I'm just being genuine.
Yeah.
Me and you, everybody here is knee deep in the news all the time. How come we never hear that? I never hear those numbers.
We hear they're doing great. They're crushing it.
Yeah, guess what? No, they're not, bro.
Hell no.
Russia is ridiculous.
And yet at the same time, all the restaurants and nightclubs in Kiev are in full operation.
Are chilling.
Nightlife is
Well, that's
popping
what we
off.
see.
Yeah, allegedly. Zelensky green screened himself into,
of course he did.
into plenty of buildings. But
Yeah.
But so while Ukraine is dwindling and getting weaker, so Russia's actually been building up their capacity. So at the beginning of the war, they were able to produce 40 long-range missiles per month. Now they're able to produce 100, and they're building factories. They're getting military supplies from Iran, China, all their allies.
Is Russia up, Brendan?
Yeah, so they're getting stronger. They're adding to their military budget.
While they're at war, they are getting stronger and producing more missiles than previous. But we, who are currently not in a war, we're not able to replenish our own supply, let alone match what they're doing, which is exceeding previous.
Yeah, we're not even technically at war.
Said. So
we're not supposed to be engaged anywhere.
How is that even possible?
The proxy wars, what's possible?
How is that even possible? Why wouldn't we be producing more? What would cause that?
Well, because so in the 90s, when we massively cut our defense budget after the Cold War happened, we went from having 200 companies in the military-industrial complex. Now there's only 5 big companies that handle everything.
Like one of my
like Raytheon, Northrop Grumman.
My cousin works at some of these places, Brendan, in California. Guess what they make? They make missiles for.
Well, they're not making enough.
Well, but what I'm saying is, these guys, he's happy because he thought he was going to be out of a job. He is.
Oh, they're cleaning up right now.
Killing it right now because he's in full mode. Yeah,
this chart shows it might be hard to see, but bar number 1 at the top is 2017, then 2021, then 2023. So the biggest bar
good job,
shows.
Cal. That's perfect.
So that's how much. There's $730 billion worth of orders in their order books right now, and it's going to take them 2 years to fill most of it.
Oh my! So we're right now. God forbid the Taiwan thing happens, or just anything in that matter.
We can't really do
2 weeks.
much.
We can't do shit.
Why did they do that though? From like a business perspective, limiting it. Is it just because they cut funding, or they wouldn't allow other companies to produce them?
As far as what, like back then or right now?
Back then, because you said many more companies were producing it, right? And then they limited it to only those?
Yeah, so they didn't limit it. They just cut, like our Department of Defense cut funding. So
Gotcha.
kind of
It was
like
only allocating it to
the
them.
weaker companies kind of like shriveled up and died off. But the military industrial complex, it's not like really a thing where a startup company could just start producing nuclear missiles and whatnot. It's like a massive infrastructure you have to build up, and like so you can't really just like launch it. And it's something that would take like 5 years to like actually build a company that has some momentum.
Brandon, this type of information, do you think our enemies know that we're in this shape? I mean, if you could find it,
if the Wall Street Journal publishes it,
by the Wall Street Journal,
thanks a lot.
And thanks a lot, WS.
G doesn't have a Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, what do you mean? Of course he does.
Real quick though, so one more part of this. So yes, Russia is getting stronger, Ukraine's getting weaker. If I had to bet, I would say that Ukraine probably falls in like 18 months with the pace it's going
You think
at.
they last another 18 months?
That's optimistic.
I
But
feel like when we had Colonel McGregor on, we went through and looked at maps as to how much of Ukraine they were fighting in, and how much had already been overtaken by Russia. And it was like 95% of the map. Maybe it was Tim Pool. I know for a fact on one of our episodes of the PBD podcast, we did that. And we looked in real time as to where Russia had overtaken and beaten the Ukrainian army and how much of the land they had taken. And it was like 95% of what they were going for.
It's like a third right now. That's
third.
actually taken.
Okay.
But
And it's been going on for almost 2 years. So I guess, another 18 months to finish off the last third.
that's like most optimistic. It could be even like as short as 6 months because, it's kind of a thing where like once you fall, then the momentum like really builds up. Like once people start actually not wanting to fight and things like that. So Ukraine's like at that point where they're really losing morale and not wanting to fight anymore. But so once that happens, Russia's on Europe's doorstep, and Europe has spent nothing in the last 20 years since the Cold War ended under defense. They've only relied on us. Like NATO, out of all the NATO spending, the U.S. has put 70% of that money into NATO. So we have all the stuff, and this is a good graphic that
Let me
shows.
see this graph.
So the top bar is the U.S. Then the look how small everybody else is after it.
Oh my God!
A guy tried to tell us that they need to pay their fair share.
Yes.
And they said, why would he say that? I wonder who that was.
Who was that?
Trump. Yep.
Oh wait,
They needed to pay
Trump,
up.
not the same hotel guy.
Yeah.
Donald Trump,
That
the
orange
New York
guy.
hotel guy.
The New York hotel guy warned. Oh wow,
guy
that's
from The
weird.
Apprentice.
And check this out. So this is a great graphic of all the blue is the NATO
We show
countries.
this graph, Cal. I
All
love you.
the blue is all the NATO countries. The yellow is Ukraine, obviously, and the gray is Russia. So once Ukraine falls, Russia's right on Europe's doorstep, and Europe is totally barren as far as arms and weapons for what they have. They have like less than 100 tanks in most of these countries. Some of these countries don't even have tanks, no artillery. They're all reliant on the U.S. to help them out if they ever needed it.
And it goes to make you think that, when everyone's like, well, peace, love, we don't need to do that. No, you need to be prepared for situations like this. Like, what's the saying? Like, you want a peace with a big
If you want
stick?
peace, prepare for war.
Yeah, it's like you want to prepare for the worst. Like, I don't, of course we want peace, but I want my military to be as stacked as possible for when things happen, like we're prepared. But Europe obviously isn't. And that goes to show that we also shouldn't, that's poor on their leadership to be dependent on the U.S., which obviously we're behind as well, and we shouldn't even be fronting all of that.
Yeah.
But that's insane. If I was Europe right now, they probably don't even know though. They're like,
You think
I'll do you one better on that front, because Vinny, when you were talking about what we'll be left with, you said once we spend all of our long-range missiles in a week, we're left with small arms and nuclear weapons. There was a report that came out in 2021 that just recirculated, where the guy in charge of United States Strategic Command was talking about how the Minuteman III missiles, the nuclear warheads that are the backbone of our nuclear deterrent.
The base that I was stationed at in Montana.
All Minutemen IIIs. They've been in service since the 60s.
Yeah, forever.
They don't know how to fix them anymore. They're saying all these schematics that show how they work were never digitized and have been lost. They're now 3 generations behind on technicians who know how to repair and upgrade them.
God.
So they have all those guys have not only retired, they've died. There is nobody who knows how to fix our nuclear arsenal right now.
Great, and they're just chilling in the ground, in our ground.
Yeah, they're currently developing another nuclear warhead that's supposed to cost like $260 million a piece or something, some obscene amount of money. But until we build that, those are like in early testing.
Dude, and
We've
it's crazy that you say that, Connor, because I was stationed at Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana, and my base was responsible for 200 ICBM Minuteman missiles that were under the ground. And bro, I was a flight security controller because I was a military police, but then I graduated to flight security controller. So my job was letting the missileers come in. The 2 guys, they wear like blue jumpsuits. They would go down, and I'd been in there, and dude, the launch keys and everything are down there. And I've seen, so this is how one of the missiles works. So there's an impulse pole. This pole, it's just a white pole. If you drive by like Montana or these places, Minot, South Dakota, Wyoming, you'll see this white pole because you'll see it on like somebody's land. It's fenced in. They paid them like $100,000, the farmer. This pole does an umbrella of security, and right there is this big concrete. Bro, it's the size from there, probably 2 of these rooms. It slides open, and the warhead is right there. So I'm over here guarding. There's 18-year-olds down there. Just, I'm not joking. So I'm dead serious. But then, if it had to be just launched, whatever, this God knows how many ton thing just blows off, and the rocket shoots up. But
well, here's the best metaphor that I saw somebody put forward about it.
Yeah.
Imagine there's a car that's been sitting in a garage.
Yeah.
Some guy owns it. It's never been started up. It's never had gasoline put in it.
Yeah.
And then he keeps bringing technicians in. Every time a part needs to be replaced, it's tested independently. They take the part out. They test that part in a different car.
Yeah.
That's like a test model, and then take that part and put it back in. But the car's never been started. No one's ever used the car. No one's ever driven it. It's never been powered up. They're like, no, don't worry. The car still works just fine.
Yeah.
Like if you need a ride, this car is here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been like 70 years, and you never turned the car on.
Yeah.
How do you know it works?
Yeah.
So, okay, say there really is some reason to launch a nuclear arsenal. It's just guesswork to assume that the things are actually going to go off the way they're supposed to.
And you mentioned, so this is a simulation for China, Taiwan, but in actuality, if any conflict happens with us, Brandon, we are screwed. And the world is watching. Like, you think, Rob, that it comes to the point, Robbie, where they're watching, they know, but then maybe the flip side of this coin is they say, oh shit, if they don't have anything else to shoot us long range, they're going to nuke us. You think that's a possibility that's on their mind? 'Cause, I mean, they go through every scenario, right?
Yeah, but I don't think we'll. I hope. I hope we don't ever see. I think anybody doesn't hope. Everybody hopes that.
Anyone who's not Lindsey Graham, hopes we don't see.
But I have noticed an uptick in the word, and I've never heard it before until within the past, I want to say, year or so, was tactical nukes.
Yeah,
right.
Smaller nukes.
Yes, they keep using this term, tacular nukes.
Tactical.
Like, tactical.
Yeah.
Like it almost makes it seem like it's less of a problem.
Oh, no.
It's like more acceptable. It's a tactic. It's not a giant nuke.
Yeah, it's a baby. It's in a briefcase.
But we're still resulting to nuclear war.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's scary that we are at a time where there's conflict in the Middle East, there's conflict in Europe, there's conflict here within the United States between people that are flooding our borders and coming in this country, and people like us going, wait a minute, why are we paying for these people to be shipped all over the United States? It feels like there's all kinds of different conflicts. Which one's going to become the one that breaks out in a global war? Sweden, they're preparing their citizens for war. They haven't been to war in like 180 years. Did you see that? But their prime minister was saying, okay, we may end up having to go to war if we end up joining NATO with Russia. So it's like everybody's worried right now.
Wouldn't that be a reason to not join NATO? Like, people have
they do it so everybody else has to get involved.
Yeah, people speculated that Ukraine trying to join NATO
is the reason why
Russia invaded in the first place.
I saw it live when Biden kind of welcomed a small attack. He's like, listen, if there's a minor incursion, good boy. If there's a minor incursion, that's basically saying, okay, listen, don't go to war. But if you bomb a couple of places, that's called an invite. That's opening the door for somebody to fight. But the one thing that does scare me, and this is my opinion. Again, I love that word, opinion. If one nuke goes off, we're effed. Everybody's launching. Because think about it. If somebody has the balls to launch, if Russia or somebody does something, bro, it's war. Everybody's gonna panic. What do you think? People are just sitting there. This isn't when they're like, oh, Trump has the key. Let me explain something to you. To launch a nuke, there's so many moving parts, from phone calls to codes to yes, the okay, the code. Once that happens, if somebody does it, it's over. And just to give you guys a heads up, these things are so precise. You guys, I want to give you guys, because Kelly, we're going to be moving on soon. Okay. When you guys were talking about the Minuteman missile, so you guys picture a dunce cap, like when the kid's in trouble in school. So the rocket goes out of space. That dunce cap, which is huge, leaves it's the reentry system. It leaves the other part that got it. The rocket, it falls off. That thing, Rob, can open up in outer space. Imagine the dunce cap opening, and there's separate baby warheads inside the dunce cap. So if a nuclear weapon actually does come in, picture, because it goes upside down. Imagine a dunce cap coming in upside down. They have them to hit within like an inch of what the target is. But you know what the scariest ones are? The ones that don't hit the ground. They go like above the atmosphere. Like imagine above your town, it launches. You know those videos where you see the explosion, atom bomb, and then imagine that happening here, and it's sucking all the oxygen, all the radiation, everybody's dead like that. And once that happens, we're unlivable. You're not, dude, the fallout for something like that. So if you see a nuclear weapon, if it's all out nuclear war, if you can, try to move your head, kiss your own ass goodbye, because it's over.
I was actually looking for that. I was like, oh wait, there's a way to survive this.
Because they have